It's time for MacBreak Weekly, episode 180 for February 12th, and what an exciting show we have for you, a complete departure here. This is kind of a MacBreak Weekly special, an extra, our live performance at Macworld Expo on February 12th, 2010. It's Macworld Live, coming up next on MacBreak Weekly.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for MacBreak Weekly is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is MacBreak Weekly, episode 180 for February 12th, 2010. Macworld Live. MacBreak Weekly is brought to you by GoToMeeting. Do more and travel less with GoToMeeting. Make your next meeting a GoToMeeting instead. For your free 30-day trial, visit gotomeeting.com/MacBreak. And by Audible.com. To download a free audiobook of your choice, go to audible.com/MacBreak. Hi, I'm Leo Laporte, and you're about to see a special episode of MacBreak Weekly. This is not the usual MacBreak Weekly. This is the live event we did at Macworld on February 12th, 2010. We called it Macworld Live, and it features Heather Gold, the comic, Roger McGuinn, his amazing folk music, from Mythbusters, Adam Savage, and the rock and roll, America's favorite sci-fi rock and roll band, Warp 11. So it was a live stage show, which we recorded in its entirety, and you're about to see. So without further ado, please get ready. Let's go to the stage at Macworld Expo 2010, Rock the New Era, and Macworld Live.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? So here we are, afternoon of day 2 of the expo. Have you guys had a chance to get on the floor? Have you been able to get anywhere close to the vendors you want to get to? But it's fun out there, right? The vibe is good, and everybody's happy, and we're having a good time, right? What? That? All right, so this is a very special feature presentation for me because at Macworld last year, Leo came up to me and he said, we got to keep this going. He goes, community needs a place to meet, to be face-to-face. This is very worthwhile. And this coming from probably the most influential, famous person who makes his living talking to people virtually, all year long. But he said face-to-face is important and community is important. And if you know Leo at all, he's just such a kind, generous gentleman. He really believes in the value of relationships and the value of people, and just human connection is very important to him. And so he provided me a lot of guidance, a lot of support, a lot of encouragement through the year. So to be able to welcome him here to give a feature presentation, you'll see all the great stuff that he's put together, is particularly gratifying. So please give a huge Macworld welcome for Leo Laporte.
Thank you. This guy's great. We really has kept Macworld alive, so we really appreciate what you've done, Paul, for the community. Thank you. Thank you very much. Paul Kent. Hey, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, why are you standing up? Is that a standing ovation of one? Thank you. I appreciate. And look at. Thank you. Are you going to broadcast the whole thing with your laptop? Please do. By all means. I'll tell you the story about that. So it's very good to see you. This is Macworld Live. This used to be David Pogue's gig, but they bumped him upstairs and he did the big keynote. I hope you saw that yesterday. David's so great, isn't he? Very talented guy, and he very kindly let me take over Macworld Live. So the idea of Macworld Live is it's a talk show. I don't know if there's something wrong. Dane, I just don't feel comfortable out here. Can you bring me the ball? All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the gentlemen of the international stage and technical employees, IATSE, thank you. They are beautiful job. Thank you very much. Now we're talking. Oh, Dane, the clock, very important. Wait a minute. I'll explain that. Dane Golden is the executive producer of Twit.tv, our internet network. He's a great guy. Are you talking to somebody on that?
Yeah.
No, you're not. There's nobody on the other end. I don't know. Go ahead and enjoy. He likes to. So the clock, we have to have the clock and the ball are part of the studio at Twit Live at the cottage that I do the show from. And I do so many hours. I do about, 6 or 7 hours a day, 6 days a week, 5 days a week. So I need something bouncy to sit on. And, when we were setting up the studio, Colleen, who's our great studio engineer, who's backstage right now running the live feed because we're feeding this live. Hello, everybody in Twitland. Colleen and I had a big basket at Costco, and we were going down the aisle. And I said, that'd be kind of fun to have that. I bought this big clock. And if this clock now is the most important thing on the network, if this clock is not in the shot, people in the chat room start getting irate. They say, where's the clock? Where's the clock? So we thought, I better have the clock on stage so we can do this. So we're going to do this like a talk show. We've got a great lineup here for you. Heather Gold, who is a wonderful comic, does a show on our network called Tummel Vision, all about community building, community bringing people together and getting them to have a good time. We also have a rock and roll immortal, a legend, the man who founded the Byrds, Roger McGuinn, is here. And he's going to perform. He has his 7-string. He invented a guitar. This guy is the ultimate geek. Roger actually has an entire solar-powered house. The first time I talked to him, he had built a solar-power cooler, and now he's got a solar-powered Sub-Zero, so he's really upped his game. So I'm not kidding. So we'll talk to Roger McGuinn, and he'll play for us. Following Roger, another Mac geek and legend who lives here in San Francisco, Adam Savage of the Mythbusters, is here. And then we're going to wrap things up. It's going to be a fast-paced hour. We're going to wrap things up. You see, we've got a rock and roll band here with an amazing, America's favorite sci-fi band. They do Star Trek covers. It's amazing. It's not a cover. I don't know what it is. It's Star Trek rock and roll. Warp 11 is also here, and they're going to perform. And don't leave. I want you dancing. We need a mosh pit. Now, I've been told, I'm not sure which, the Warp 11's front woman is Kiki Stockhammer. You might remember her. She was the demo goddess at many trade shows, Macworld for years, of the Amiga toaster. Remember, she would do these great video wipes and stuff. And I've been told that either Kiki or Roger McGuinn is wearing latex today. It's one or the other, so I'm sure that'll be exciting for you. So, are you ready for a good time? Macworld Live. I'm so glad you're here. This is really fun. Let me get rid of the ball, because anybody want this? I think it'd hurt you. I'll just roll it down the aisle. It's like a mini Prisoner episode, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Heather Gold to start us off. Heather, come on out here.
Leo, did you really give that away?
Apparently. That's all right. We buy them by the dozen.
That's what every guy wants to do with his blue balls, right? It'll be puns for the next 8 minutes. Sorry, I won't kill you that way. I promise. Wow. This is... I have a lot of jokes, but Leo, first of all, I just want to say, Twit people, is this a lot of Twit Army here? Big love.
Yeah.
I am blown away by this group of people. I mean, you go on this show and it's like, the chat room is just like Google Buzz, but nicer, much nicer. Yeah, I've been kind of destroyed by Google Buzz in the last day.
Have you used Google Buzz?
I have been. It's not pleasant.
I'm buzzing right now.
Yeah, I bet. The coat, are you warm?
I should take this. Can I tell you why I'm taking off the... I accidentally, there was a wardrobe malfunction. I thought this was Linux World. I'm sorry, and I have a tux. It could have been worse. I was wearing this.
I dare you. Will you put it on?
Sure.
Yeah. I think you should go on the floor after, in case some people don't recognize you.
They could set it on fire.
Rumble. The Jets and the Sharks. Let's go out. I mean, you just call yourself an army. Have you ever had a fight?
We've had a rumble or two, yeah.
A rumble too? Okay,
yeah.
That would be fun. I'd appreciate that. So do you know, Leo, that you guys know that they announced today there's going to be a Barbie engineer? The newest Barbie, this is not made up, is a computer engineer. There was a vote on Facebook, and people voted for Barbie's new career to be computer engineer. They gave her a little smartphone and some, what else did they give her? Some glasses. She's got pink glasses. slightly more sensible shoes. But what they're missing is they don't have any T-shirts that are just too big and don't fit her. So I know how many women engineers in the room. Come on,
Colleen's applauding behind the screen.
Is Colleen the only woman engineer here? Guys, okay, this is just a request. Please, your next event, make some other T-shirts for women. Just pretend they're going to come maybe they'll come if you make the shirts. So I'm married. Anyone else here? Yeah. I am married in 4 states and 1 country, including one of 18,000 couples married here in California. Thank you. My wife, who also tells me to get off of Twitter every 5 seconds, is on the other side of the country in med school. But we have a great marriage. It's a lot of work. But it turns out that half the country does not want me to be married, and the other half wants to pay to watch my wedding night on pay-per-view. And it's the same half. That's the thing about how it works. Especially in Utah, their pay-per-view, porn is high. You guys look at the data, really incredible correlation there. So one of the things I've noticed, part of my geek love, is that geek guys and lesbians have a lot in common. We're like the same tribe, okay? Everyone's got, just stay with me, chunky glasses, chunky usually footwear of some kind, hoodies, right? Prius. Some kind of gear, spend a lot of time at the hardware store. A lot of gear strapped to the roof of the car you don't need. Spend a lot of time in love with chicks who won't give us the time of day. Princess Leia is the link between lesbians and geek dudes everywhere. I have a poster on my wall. It's like a Barack Obama poster. It says hope, and it's just got a beautiful Leia on it. It's true. I wish I could remake it, but we think Lucas might not like it. I could share it. It was a prop. So I used to work at Apple. Anybody else? No, you're all at Macworld, and none of you actually worked at Apple?
I think they're not allowed to be here.
You're not allowed. Oh. Okay. Are they allowed to even watch secretly? Maybe Twitch streaming at
Possible.
work? I hope so. Hey guys, women. At Apple. So I used to work there before, the great and powerful Oz came back to Apple. And then after I left, along with, 5,000-6,000 of my best friends, one day we all left. I had to use a PC at a job, little Sony Vaio, and it occurred to me after using this PC for about 3 months that Microsoft is like the Christians and Apple are like the Jews. Okay. Follow me here. First of all, Microsoft are the more popular of the two, so let's start there. They take these conventions that they don't come up with. They just take the whole thing they don't come up with, and they go, that's catchy. They're just going to borrow it. Graphic user interface, the calendar, whatever. And then they change everything, right, to make it more complicated. It's got to have a father, got to have a son, got to have a something in between, got to have a hell, got to have it in some... Isn't there a world in the Christianity between heaven and hell?
Purgatory.
Yeah. Have you developed for Microsoft?
Yes.
Yes. and then they gotta make it all complicated, right? Like the sun and the ghost and the right click and the right mouse button and it's too easy, We don't feel like we're doing anything. We gotta add stuff and statues and places to bend and jump over stuff and then. They have a leader that says he does nothing, but it's all for the people. It's not for him. He just suffers, the mockery. It's not about him. And then they've got fear-based proselytization, mostly. They go into countries, they go into other little companies, they take them, they suck them in. Sometimes they disappear, sometimes they absorb. You have saints. Oh, look, we have saints. And mostly their success comes down to one thing. It's marketing, marketing, marketing. You think it's in the Vatican, it's in every museum, it's in every book. I better learn this stuff or I'm going to be damned for eternity, or worse, incompatible. Pretty much, okay? Now, Apple, on the other hand, right, it's all about being different. It's It's all about a little pain to be different on the 8th day. Are there any Jews here besides me? Am I the only Jew in the room? Will you please out yourself, Jews? My Judar are not so great. 3 of you? 4 of you? You can come out. You know, by the way, it's much edgier to be out as Jewish than gay in San Francisco. So come on, be a trendsetter. So you want to set yourself aside. You want to be different. You can't do everything like other people. You should think very hard about how you do everything right. You should have neurosis about it. You should have therapy about it. You should do user experience studies forever. You should anti-alias everything unless it's very small, and then you can't mix the linen and the cotton. There's a rule for everything. It's very complicated. It used to be incredibly hard to convert. They'd turn you away 3 times. I've never paused for like a group painful groan before.
Oh.
And then, oh God, there's a lot of people who, started out that way in life, but they don't really practice anymore. They're just kind of connected to it in this vague cultural kind of way. Have a bagel, things kind of look nice once in a while. But then, the great thing is when the era becomes a little bit mobile, when people move around, nobody knows how to deal with mobile, like a wandering Jew. It's true. So, you may have thought that we were vanquished. Now we're victors. Unfortunately, no matter how hard you try with Microsoft, they'll always have Windows, which is like Christmas. It will be shoved down your throat, no matter where you are. So it's a joy to be here. I love the geeks. You guys are my people. And more small T-shirts. That's all I ask of you. And let's please show some love to Leo for creating
please.
A wonderful space for all of us.
Come on over and have a seat. I'm gonna ask everybody who comes out here, and I'll ask you, Heather.
Got it. I feel like I'm with Johnny, only penguin ear.
So, what your first experience was with either an Apple or a Macintosh? You're so young; it's probably with a Mac, right?
I had a Mac Plus.
Did you?
I did. I'm so young. I had a little RAM disk that you used to start it out, but I didn't know what that was though at the time. I got it in college, and I spent a lot of time I didn't have a printer. I couldn't afford that, so I'd print in the library in college. And I was always really last minute about everything. And then I'd finish the paper at 4 in the morning and run off to go get something to eat and come back, and the dot matrix printer would have just printed the whole paper in one line.
I've had that happen, yeah.
Good old days.
And you went to work for Apple?
Yeah, and
out of college?
And I knew almost nothing about computers. Like I used the laptop, no, not out of college. I used the laptop. I used the computer to write papers. I went to Apple after I'd worked in Hollywood.
Oh, really? Doing what?
Yeah, I worked for New Line Cinema. May it rest in peace. It's now part of New Line, AOL, Time Warner.
Right.
That's how we're going to get national health care, really. It's just one company. We'll all work for it. And I was interested in working at that point, what I thought was going to be interesting was to work between Hollywood and Silicon Valley. And painfully enough, I did go to law school. Although I usually am pretty in the closet about that. And so I was part of a small group at Apple in the mid-'90s that was really trying to help create webcasting. It was very early.
See, I find that interesting, mid-'90s, because that's
we
what we're doing
group.
now.
There were 4 or 5 of us, maybe 7. We worked in music, and we had to be all DL on the DL about it because, the lawyers, there was a contract that was signed with Apple Records, and we weren't supposed to do music. So I ran a music site called Music Fan we couldn't put Apple on it.
Really? I never even heard of it.
Well, it was that successful. I did a lot of enhanced CD stuff.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
And early webcasting. We did the Grammys, we wired the Fillmore and a bunch of venues.
Oh, that's neat.
Sort of created early remote webcasting, and it was pretty exhilarating. Nobody knew. It was early enough that you could go when you were meeting with people and say, there's this thing called the internet, and their face would go, really? And then you could act like you invented it.
Would you have yeah. Oh, yes, I know about that.
And it'd be
I created it.
Yes,
yeah.
And then people would fight over, do you pay us for streaming your show, or do we pay you for the rights? It was a lot of those kinds. So I was doing deals.
You use a Mac now?
Absolutely. I could not, unfortunately, now use anything else.
Right.
I've been destroyed and spoiled.
Yeah. We, I was going to ask everybody how they use Macs today, and I realized that we use Macs very heavily to stream. A lot of our hosts like you are using a Mac, and we use Macs for Final Cut. But I think I have a picture of a way that a Mac was used just a few weeks ago in a very unusual way. Do you have that picture from the Apple iPad announcement? Maybe they don't. Maybe they can't find it.
Did someone say
Well,
iPad?
So,
I could use a pad.
That's a bad name, I know.
Sorry.
So,
Sorry, you guys. Who else? I got to try that out with
I
someone.
guess do you not have that
seemed like
picture?
the room to try. Sorry.
Sure, I wanted to show it. Well, you all saw it. In fact, somebody was doing it here. We held up an Apple laptop and streamed Steve Jobs' announcement at the iPad announcement. Remember that? Yeah. I'm on the official Apple video, and I was thinking while I'm there, Steve's standing here. I'm right there in the audience, and he's kind of looking funny at me. And I realized when I saw the picture that I had it turned around in the laptop, and you could see what I was. You could see him.
It's an awesome photo. I wish you could put it up because
you can see him.
So do you know Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Do you know in Pulp Fiction when they open the suitcase and it kind of glows? Leo, you were like the suitcase.
That's. So I was busted. I don't know if I'll ever be asked to an Apple event ever again. Huh? They never said anything, but it turned out nobody was. Everybody had asked permission. And that was their mistake because Apple said, no, you can't do it. And I just was there and I didn't ask permission. So I just thought, I should, and so I did. We had 150,000 people watching.
And
150,000 people watching that stream.
And the best thing is that if Jobs busts you for it, you just say, I learned it from watching you.
Yeah, that's right. It's your technique. Heather Gold does a show for us called Tunnel Vision.
Right.
Which is on what days?
Thursdays, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time with Kevin Marks and Deb Schultz.
Three people who really know about community, about social media. It's a really...
From different perspectives. Kevin's, hardcore tech guy, and Deb in terms of business, and I try to take culture. We've had some amazing people on the show. We've had Kathy Sierra, who's an incredible user experience person. We had last night Adrian Chan, who created social interaction design. We had Allie Willis, who's like one of my heroes, creative heroes, who wrote September and Boogie Wonderland.
For Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, she's an amazing songwriter, and she really started doing social sites like in the early 90s. Like she got Intel to back a really early thing. Of course, they made her use their technology, and she told us that destroyed everything. But
it's fascinating. I mean, it's a whole new idea, a whole new area, and it's a great, smart show to listen to if you get a chance. I'm going to have you move over because our next guest is ready to go. We got to keep on time.
I hope you're enjoying Macworld Live. More to come in just a little bit, including Roger McGuinn, Adam Savage, and Warp 11. Before we go much further, though, I do want to mention the folks at GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting.com/twit. Actually, you know what? Let's use the MacBreak one. GoToMeeting.com/MacBreak. That's the place to go to get a great deal on GoToMeeting. 30 days free. GoToMeeting is that wonderful program that lets you hold meetings online instead of having to, boring old conference call or doing a lot of travel. You install GoToMeeting right now if you go to GoToMeeting.com/MacBreak. And then the next time you want to meet with somebody, you just say, hey, go to GoToMeeting. The software will install like that on their system. It's just a little Java, stub. It takes 20 seconds to install, and then they can see what's on your computer screen. They can see your PowerPoint, your Keynote. It really is great. We use it a lot here at the Twit Cottage, and I think you will enjoy it, and that's why I'm arranged for a special 30-day trial. Give it a shot. GoToMeeting.com/MacBreak. They're great people, and they've been very supportive of all of our Twit projects, so we thank them. Thank them for helping to underwrite our Macworld Live coverage. And now, ladies and gentlemen, back to the stage at Macworld Live.
Roger McGuinn. I don't have to tell you who Roger McGuinn is. He founded the Byrds. Before the Byrds, he was with the Chad Mitchell Trio, and we found from 1962, this is is it the Bell Hour? This is some video of Roger McGuinn when he's 19 years old with the Chad Mitchell Trio, if we can roll that video. If it takes as long as it did.
Jamboree, oh, jamboree, big round fat man, come up behind. Jamboree, oh, jamboree, come and get your roast beef, son. Hey, oh, when we get to the Black Bulldogs, them pretty young.
So great to see you, Roger. Have a seat. Let's see if we can work you in here with all these mics.
There we go.
Roger is a major geek. In fact, I know Roger through John C. Dvorak because you and he kind of were gadget hounds together, and he would always tell me stories about, you'd have every gadget, the latest thing, the Palm and whatever, and you'd pull it out. And
Yeah, he was one of the first people I saw with a smartphone, and then they've really improved over the years. I love I've got the original iPhone.
There's an interesting story behind that, actually.
Yes, my sister-in-law had this particular iPhone. She waited in line and bought it when it was brand new, and she took it with her to a restaurant. She had it in her purse and put it on the sink, and the sink filled it up with water. It was one of those automatic sinks. So the iPhone kind of died for about 2 weeks. In the meantime, she thought it was completely dead and bought a 3G, and she didn't know it, but it came back to life, and so she had 2 of them, but she disconnected this one from AT&T, and so I traded her a camera for it because her camera died in the purse too, and I put it on T-Mobile.
So,
All right.
the AT&T guy was here earlier to make sure that the signal was good in here. But
Yeah, I'm getting a pretty good. I'm getting 2 bars on T-Mobile in here.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's great. So
So that's a lot
Roger
of
really
fun.
is a geek. In fact, you told us about the solar, I would mention the solar cooler that you did.
Yeah, well, that started. My brother gave me a gift certificate for, I think it was backcountry.com, and I'm not really a camper. For me, camping is when room service is late. So I looked through the site and I found a solar thing that folded out. It was great for charging cell phones, so I did that for a while. And I thought, what else can I do? I got a bigger one, a 15-watt, and I charged my Mac with it, and that was great. And I said, well, what else can we do? Well, we live in Florida, and it gets really hot there, and they have hurricanes knock the power out. We thought it would be great to have an ice maker, because then we could stay cool in the summer if there was no power running on the solar thing. So we had 4 of these 15-watters running the ice maker, solar ice.
Wow.
And you saw a little clip of that. The local TV guys came
Yeah.
and shot that. And they thought, what else can we do? So I'd seen these electric, like a Vespa kind of thing, and I got one of those, but the 4 15-watters weren't enough to really make it run. So I got 2 65-watt panels, and they were laying out in the driveway, and they're kind of in harm's way. So I thought, well, I'd love to get them up on the roof. And my wife and I talked about it and said, well, if we're going to put them up on the roof, let's just do it right. We did the whole roof. So now we have a 6.2 kilowatt system.
Holy cow.
It runs 2 refrigerators. So the solar ice maker is a Sub-Zero now.
That's fantastic. That's a big upgrade.
Yeah.
So you lately, I know you still tour a lot.
Yes, I did
Perform all the time.
2 months in Europe last
Yeah.
year and a couple of months in the States.
But you have this Folk Den project, which I think is a wonderful, it's to bring folk music back. Really.
Yes, it is. I started this back in 1995 when I realized that there was an absence of traditional music out there. All the new folk singers played acoustic guitars, but they were singer-songwriters like
Right.
Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, sort of thing. And I thought, what's going to happen when Odetta dies? Well, she did just pass away. And Pete Seeger's 90 years old. And I thought, who's going to hold up the traditional end of folk music? So I started putting songs up. When I first started doing it, they were 11 kilohertz, 8-bit files, wave files. And then gradually I got into real audio, and then we got into MP3s. So there are about 175 MP3s on my site, which is called the Folk Den at McGuinn.com. And you can download all the MP3s, and I won't sue you.
Isn't that great? I love it. So you brought your guitar. I hope you will play for us.
Yes, I did. This is my 7-string. It's got a little 12-string sound to it. And I'm going to do a song we did back in the Birds. It was about an airplane ride over to England. And Gene Clark and I were coming back from London and said, how high do you think this plane is flying? And I said, about 37,000 feet, maybe about 6 miles high. The Beatles had a song called 8 Miles High, and they had 8 days a week.
8 days a week, yeah.
So we changed it from 6 to 8. And got some John Coltrane influence, a little Ravi Shankar, and I put in some Andre Segovia just for fun. you find that it's stranger than known. Signs in the street that say where you're going are somewhere just being their own.
Man. Oh, that's a beautiful arrangement. Oh,
Thank you.
wow.
Thank you so much.
Tell me about the guitars. You invented this?
Yeah, I did. I was coming back from France, on Air France, and they said they would treat it with kid
fly a
gloves.
lot.
Well, not anymore. And you saw the video of United Brace guitars. Well,
Yeah.
all the airlines do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how well you wrap them up or anything. I got to New York, and the whole back end was caved in.
Oh.
And I thought, if I didn't carry two guitars, if I carried a 6-string, I was carrying a 6 and a 12.
Right.
If I could get the best components of a 12-string built into a 6-string, that would be great to just have one guitar to take, sort of the one guitar that does everything. So I went to Martin, and Dick Boak is the artist representative guy there, and he and I drew out in a paper napkin the arrangement of putting the extra peg head and the end pin, and they made it for me as a custom guitar. In the meantime, a couple of guitar players came in and played it and said, hey, I like this too, so they made a run of them. It's called the Roger McGuinn HD7.
It's really
And the best part of it is this sounds like a 12-string when you do that, but then you can bend it or do the things that are hard to do on a 12 because the other strings get in the
Right.
way. So that's what this is all about.
Sounds great. Is this all you play now?
I still, well, when I go on the road, I carry an acoustic 12, a 7-string, a Rickenbacker 12, and a 5-string banjo.
Wow, that's great.
So,
That's
but
a
we
lot.
don't fly a lot.
I was going to say,
That's why we take ocean liners and trains.
Roger
and
got
things.
here on the Queen Victoria.
Yes.
All the way around through the canal and up here.
Yes, it was really fun. When you invited me to be here, I went to Camilla, my wife, who does all the logistics.
It's right here, yeah.
And she said, well, I could fly you out there on frequent flyer points. I said, that's no fun. I'd like you to come with me. So 10 minutes later, this email came in from the Cunard line that said, we'd like you to do 2 lectures on the Queen Victoria for a free passage from New York to San Francisco. I went,
Perfect.
bingo. Perfect timing. So
I can't claim anything to do with that. That's just
No,
that's
it just worked out
kismet.
great.
And this I thought was interesting. Camilla told me you're taking the train home
Yes, we are. We're taking
back
it
to Florida.
Yes, if it makes it. We tried to take a train from Florida to California once, and it broke down in Texas. But we're hoping this one makes it all the way across the country.
Trains aren't supposed to break down.
Never made it all the way across the country yet.
Really?
No, not. We've gone up and down the coastlines and so on.
Oh, I
But
love trains. I really do.
we're kind of winding the clock back to the 20s as far as travel goes, and it's much more efficient. You know, you can take a ton of cargo, and if you take it in a truck, it's I think you get 12 miles for a gallon of diesel, and you get 100 miles on a train.
So it is.
So it's much more
great.
efficient.
It's a good
Yeah.
way to travel.
Yeah.
You use Macs yourself. Do you remember your first Mac?
Yeah, my first Mac, this is funny. I went to the Senate in 2000 to talk about, it was a Judiciary Committee hearing on is there an upside to downloading? And I said, downloading is bad for big record companies, and it's bad for independent songwriters. But for performers, it's not a bad thing. It's kind of like the new radio.
This guy is a hero. I just want you to know. I mean, in 2000 to say that, isn't that great?
I like that statement. It's
Yeah,
new radio.
it's a new radio. Yeah,
It really is.
it is, because if you get a viral hit, you got a hit, and people are going to buy your merch.
It's so hard to get into regular radio now with anything new.
Yeah. Radio's, well, I like XM and Sirius. I listen to you on channel 158.
I'm on XM. Yeah.
Oh, and I got that as far out as Bermuda on one
that's
of
good
the
to
ocean
know.
liners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the footprint doesn't work too far south, but it works pretty far east. Anyway, I said that to the Senate, and it got on the internet, and Steve Wozniak contacted me because he liked what I said. And we got to talking, and he said, I teach a class of fifth graders at my house. And I said, I'd love to show them how to record on a computer. Back in 2000, this was kind of a new thing. Right. And he said, sure. So he flew Camilla and myself out to his house, and I did teach a class, and we got to be friends. And when I got back, in the mail was a cube, a Mac Cube. That was my first Mac.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you still have it?
Yes, I do. It still works. It still runs OS 9, and
That's great.
it's really fun. I get it fired up every once in a while. And then I have subsequent Macs. I have like 2 or 3 MacBook Pros. I stepped on Camilla's MacBook Pro, and fortunately, Macs can run from external hard drives. So I have it running as a media center on because I killed the hard drive and the keyboard, but I've got it running on external USB stuff, and it works great. But I got the new MacBook Pro, the unibody, and I love that.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
I record on that.
So you're able to do what you would do in a studio with Pro Tools, a Mac.
Yeah, yes.
And you in fact, you introduced me to the Samson USB mics.
Yeah, I showed you that, but that broke. So I use the M-Box now with some really good condenser mics.
Real mics,
yeah. I've got some real good mics. So.
Yeah, but you could do it all on a computer.
You can. I mean, it used to be that you needed $1 million to record because the studio was expensive. It was like $6,000 a day, and boy, we'd spend days and weeks in there. And then they do a video, that'd be another $500,000 and all that. So now you can do it on Pro Tools, or I am also a beta tester for Adobe Audition 4.0.
That's what I use.
You use a 3.0, right?
That's on Windows, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we won't mention that.
No. But it's a good program. It started out in radio. I think a lot of radio people
That's why I
do
use
that.
It.
Yeah, right.
Yep. It was Cool Edit Pro. And
Right, but I kept getting a lot of sessions sent to me by PBS, and I did a song for a Bob Dylan movie, I'm Not There, or it was another Pro Tools session. So I had to learn Pro Tools and record on that to send it back to them. That's where I got into the Pro Tools thing.
Can we get you to play one more?
Yeah, I'm going to play a song that Camilla and I wrote back in 1991 about the rainforests, about what's happening in Brazil. People will clear a whole area of rainforest and grow cattle, but they can only sustain it for 1 year. And then it's useless. They've killed this beautiful ecosystem, and you can't get it back, and you can't even grow cattle. Yeah. So what's the deal? This song's called The Trees Are All Gone. It was on my Back from Rio CD back in 91. Glaciers near the polar cap have all begun to melt. Temperatures are on the rise, far from the southern belt. Rising waters, shifting tides on every changing land. Rainforest in the Amazon have vanished from our land, and the trees are all gone. Yeah, you know it's all wrong, and the trees are all gone. People want to eat today, and so they clear the land. Global warming is a concept they won't understand. But all the politicians now, they have no excuse. They just hide behind their power and keep us from the truth. And the trees are all gone. Yeah, you know it's all wrong. And the trees are all gone. farmlands turn to dust. When only rich receive the food and nothing's left for us. And the trees are all down. Yeah, you know it's all around. And the trees are all gone. And the trees are all down. Yeah, you know it's all around. And the trees are all gone.
Oh, so great. It's nice to hear real music with a real instrument and a real person. I just love that.
You know, that's alarming because a lot of kids think they play guitar now because of, like,
Right.
you know, rock band.
Garage band does it.
A garage band.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I
Oh,
think
rock band.
Rock
Man, that's
band, that's
even
what I'm talking
worse.
about. Rock band, yeah, because
At least with garage band, you're making music. Rock
'cause it-
band, you're pushing buttons.
it's a mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fancy mouse.
All right.
Your website?
McGuinn.com, McGuinn.com.
And you're on Twitter. Are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter. I'm Roger McGuinn.
At
One
Roger
word.
McGuinn. And you're at Heather without an E. I forgot to mention Heather.
Like Flicker.
Heather like Flicker.
Heather Champ always beats me to Heather.
So I'm going to get you to move down. We're going to get
Okay.
our great stage hands to move the mics because we're going to introduce our next guest.
Hi, Leo Laporte again, breaking into our Macworld Live coverage. I hope you're enjoying it. Man, that was a really wonderful day, and we had so much fun. Wasn't Roger McGuinn amazing? For me to sit there and listen to him play 8 Miles High right there, rocked my world. It was beautiful. We've got another couple of great guests coming up. Adam Savage of Mythbusters and Warp 11 is going to play for you. But before we continue, I would like to mention our friends at Audible.com. Audible is a great place where you can get audiobooks, amazing 70,000 audiobooks, a great selection of wonderful stuff. Anytime you're in the car or you're walking, working out, washing the dishes, doing the housework, you can always have something to listen to with Audible.com. It's to me, a lifesaver. I used to have a terrible commute. That's when I started listening to Audible in 2001. And I have since listened to, well over 300 audiobooks on Audible.com. And I'm always listening to more, always finding more. In fact, one of the things we like to do is recommend audiobooks, because you can get a free one right now if you go to audible.com/MacBreak. Audible.com/MacBreak. This is the Audible website. And this is one of the fun things about Audible is you go there and you can browse. For instance, Valentine's Day is coming up, and so they've got a bunch of romance stories like Pride and romantic, not romance, romantic stories like Pride and Prejudice and Heart of the Night, Outlander. So that's one way to find books. You also, if you notice on the left, you can go to audible.com, and they have some great lists like the best of 2009. They have New York Times bestsellers. Let's see what the best books of 2009 were. Audiobooks that got the highest ratings from Audible listeners. A lot of these, I have to say, we've already recommended on the show. You see how fun it is? You just browse around, you find a book, you listen to a book. There was a book I wanted to listen to. My wife's reading right now by Christopher Buckley. Let me see. He's the guy who wrote Thank You for Not Smoking. He's the son of William F. Buckley. There it is. This is the book I wanted to get. My wife's loving this. It's a memoir about growing up with William F. Buckley. It's called Losing Mum and Pup, a memoir. And Jennifer said this is a wonderful book. Christopher Buckley narrates it. It's going to make it even better. I'm going to add this right now to my Audible. Now, you can get it free. Just go to audible.com/MacBreak. You see, I have quite a few books I want to listen to. My goodness. Including another Christopher Buckley book already in there. Wow. Audible.com/MacBreak. That's the place to go to get great books, and your first one is free. You can cancel it anytime. The book will be yours to keep. Plays on the iPod, the iPhone, the Zune, the Kindle, a lot of devices. Do check, though, in the device center to make sure it's going to play on the device you're planning for it. Audible.com/MacBreak. I can't wait to listen to Losing Mum and Pup, a memoir by Christopher Buckley. All right, my friends, time to get back to the stage at Macworld Expo, where Adam Savage is about to join us. Enjoy.
These guys are old friends. Our next guest is a new friend to me, but I know we've all watched him on TV, and he's a true and utter geek. You've seen him on Mythbusters. Let's give a warm welcome to Adam Savage, please. So nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Have a seat.
Hello.
It was so much fun backstage because there's just a bunch of geeks. Like all they got their phones out and they're talking about stuff.
The green room's where it's at.
The green room was hot and happening, let me tell you. So I'm such a big fan. Everybody's a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
How long has Mythbusters been on there? A long time.
7 years.
It's amazing.
180 hours of programming.
The thing that, yeah, pretty good. Now this is not your first exposure to TV though, because I looked on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Okay, you were Mr. Whipple's stock boy in a Charmin commercial. Is that right?
Yeah. I told my dad when I was 15 that I wanted to be an actor, and a good friend of his was somebody he'd hired for commercials way back in the 70s, Charlie Kimbrough, who ended up playing Jim Dine on Murphy Brown.
Oh yeah.
And Charlie got me my first agent, and my agent sent me out on a call, and I got my first audition, which was playing Mr. Whipple's stock boy in Charmin. I played
What a job.
Jimmy the stock boy.
Now we looked and we could not find a clip. I'm sure you have clips somewhere.
Oh, you know, it's out there. I think I just sent somebody to it the other day.
We did find this though. This is a Billy Joel. And look at the kid that's being saved by Billy Joel. Here he comes. That's him.
There you go. You know,
Starring role.
I love Billy Joel.
And some
but
good
that video,
acting, by the way. You looked like you were dying out there. I mean,
it was freezing cold. It's November in New York. I love Billy Joel, but that video is so bad that halfway through my showing it to my wife, she's like, "Are you in any more of this thing? Because I can't take it."
Can we stop now?
Yeah.
That's it. Right there. That's the starring role.
That was I did. Yeah. I did a bunch of commercials for a while. I actually went to NYU for a semester. I pretended to go to class in drama. I thought actually I was going to be an actor.
So how'd you get to be a model builder? How'd you get to that?
The acting, I had already been going out for auditions for commercials for about 5 years by the time I was at NYU, and I got disillusioned and I got out of it. I was working in graphic design in New York. I ended up moving out to San Francisco, working in theater. The facility with building things led to special effects, and then weirdly the Mythbusters opportunity came up, and it was that's when the maker of things and the performer come back full circle.
Couldn't be better.
Yeah.
You guys work really hard on that show. I did not realize how hard. You shoot all the time.
We shoot 46 weeks a year.
It's unbelievable.
We don't have
for
an
how many
off-season.
episodes?
We turn out about 21 episodes a year.
So it takes you a couple of weeks. You know, actually, you can tell when you watch the show that you're really thinking about the stuff, designing the stuff, but building it. So you go in every day and you're doing that?
Yeah, if you see something built on the show, we built it.
Wow.
Unless you're watching someone else build it. We don't take credit for stuff that's not ours, so we really are still... About 2 years ago, we got someone to help clean up, but that was...
a big improvement, I'm sure.
we really do take pride that it's all of our handiwork, and you know, we've got our blood on all the tools.
Where do you get the ideas for what you want to test?
There's a never-ending stream.
There's a lot of myths.
I just came up with one the other day, which I couldn't believe, and this happens frequently. I can't believe I didn't think of this. Fat mirrors, skinny mirrors.
I have a mirror in my bathroom, and I wish it weren't such a good mirror because I look so good in that mirror, and I stand there and I go, boy, I look good today, and then I go out in the real world and it does not work.
But see, I'm a fan. I have the last mirror in my bedroom is this full-length mirror, and it makes me look fantastic, and I like that.
How can we get the world to look like that?
Well, so we want to find out, because I have this other mirror in my house, the downstairs bathroom mirror, which actually makes me look like a hobbit. And I make sure to avoid it if I'm looking for something before I go out.
You shouldn't have that the last thing as you go out of the house.
So I figured that we'd go to a department store, we'd actually start measuring the flatness of the mirrors and seeing if there's some sort of
distortion,
consistent distortion, laterally, horizontally, diagonally. And then we'd do some experiments in the shop, and then I want to finish by setting up a hall of mirrors in Union Square and having people just go through and pick their favorites and see if there really is such a thing.
Yeah. So you try to do a scientific method in what you're doing.
That's actually... That's the main thing we try and do is the method.
Right.
We realize that our results are often bunk, but
The method's
At least the
good.
methodology
The
is
method's
sound.
good.
If we had the time to do this 100 times, we feel the methodology would yield something.
So you told me that the one you're working on right now is this slip and slide video.
Yeah, you know the video.
We
of
have
the-
it. We have it.
Oh,
Can we
okay,
show
let's
it?
take a
Let's
look
show
at
that.
it.
This is a video that was a viral video, was making the rounds of slip and slide, and I fell for it. I saw this and I thought, this is the most amazing thing ever. It's on YouTube. Here it is. This is the slip and slide video. It's a huge one, and they put water on it. Now it's not only so big, but look, there's a ramp. He's going to hit the ramp. He goes in the air, and look, in a little pool.
Oh, yeah. So.
And I watched that a dozen times, and I said, how could they be faking that?
So
it is fake.
I won't spoil the surprise, but we're heading out to a location on Monday to reenact this.
Who's doing the slip?
Well, me, of course.
You're kidding.
Jamie, we're both setting up to do it. We both have surfer wetsuits. We're going to wear latex jumpsuits on top. We sent our PA to Mr. S. Leathers today to get them. We've got this.
That might be fun to keep around afterwards.
We actually have figured out that our old ones are all used up. The thing is looking at this video, it's not about the distance that he flies or the speed that he's going. Really, it's about the accuracy.
He hits that
tiny little target. So that's what we'll be really looking at. And there might be a certain point at which we no longer feel comfortable. Our friend Nick Plachet, who's our safety guy and a Hollywood stunt coordinator, will be with us. We're going to ramp up to it.
Good.
But really, all next week, we're going to be flying through the air.
I mean, it's a great job, but it's also crazy. You got to be nuts. You use Macs?
Yes.
Okay, good. I should have checked. I should have checked before I invited you. What was your first Mac?
I was just telling. So the other night I hosted EFF's 20th anniversary.
By the way, thank you for doing that. Really great. Really great.
You know, I'm backstage talking to John Perry Barlow and Mitch Kapor, which was like totally intense.
Yeah.
And I told them, I figured I'd drop some street cred, and I said, dudes, I read Hacker Crackdown on my PowerBook 170.
Yeah.
And they both were like, nice, young Jedi. My first Mac was a PowerBook 170. I bought with a sculpture that I sold at Catherine Clark's gallery in Hayes Valley.
That's cool. Was that the one with the built-in trackball?
Yes.
It had a little ball?
Yes.
It was gray? Yeah, little kind of...
Little tiny, but it was the active matrix screen. Remember how
it was
big
color,
that
anyway, yeah.
Then I upgraded that to a Blackbird, to the 520, 520C.
Do you use Macs in production? I mean,
we're
for script writing?
We're solely a Mac shop.
That's great.
I mean, there's a few PCs around. A lot of the scientific monitoring software we use only works on PCs,
right.
but now several of us are dual booting in order to manage that.
If you decide you want to put a computer down the slip and slide, you can use the PCs. Please don't use the Macs. It'd be too painful. So you just going to keep doing Mythbusters for the rest of your life?
Until they lock the doors.
It's an awfully great job. It must be.
Amazingly, the success was totally surprising of the show. We never set out to make something that was educational. If we had tried, we would have failed. We really are just following our nose as we go.
That was the motto of Seinfeld: no teaching, no hugging.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and you know, you stay true to what the formula is, which is me and Jamie like dogs with a rope battling back and forth. But for the last 6 months, we've been the highest rated show on Discovery, and 7 years in, that's unheard of.
Rightly so. Rightly so.
The show is doing great. We have more of a sense of ownership over the material than ever before. You know, we have this great brain trust in the middle of me and Jamie and our director, Alice, and our executive producer, Dan Tapster. And that creative bond between the four of us is really, really satisfying for all of us. And we argue all the time.
That's really unusual in mainstream media that you get that kind of... Does Discovery never say, let's not do that one?
Because we've done so many tasteless things in relatively tasteful ways, they give us a fairly free rein.
Great.
There's not the stuff that they get upset about are things that they think are going to be boring. I've been pitching a audio file episode forever. I want to do high-end speaker cable against lamp cord.
Yes.
I want to prove that you
Wouldn't
don't have
that
to
be
spend
great?
$50 on a goddamn HDMI cable.
Yeah, I get them at mono price for $3, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The green around the CDs.
Right.
Remember that? And I actually concocted. I thought this was a great finale. Not only record versus CD, but versus MP3 at different compression rates, and also in your car, in your house, and in his concert hall, because all three of those are going to yield different results. They're all going to yield different levels of satisfaction to different people. And
I had my eyes opened. I was walking in San Francisco by Dolby Labs one day, and a guy kind of said, "Hey, Leo, come here." And he pulled me, I'm not kidding, he pulled me into Dolby Labs. Never met this guy in my life. He said, "I want to play you something." And they have an anechoic chamber, a perfect sound studio in there with Rebel speakers, very high-end, $100,000 speakers. And he said, "Okay, listen to this. One of these is an MP3 and one of these is the CD." And I could not tell the difference. Could not tell. Do you agree, Roger? I mean, you record your stuff as MP3s.
Artifacts in a MP3.
You can hear them.
Yeah, I can hear some stuff. It's not as good as CD quality. I know when I record the stuff for the Folk 10, I do it at 48 kilohertz, 24-bit, and when it comes out as an MP3, it doesn't have the presence or the, it's not as clear.
I saw a study that said that real music has that the overtones in the real music have an emotional component that's stripped out. See, I don't know how you'd measure that. Right? Somebody crying when they
measure. Yeah. Every time I see these like $25,000 turntables, or the
with sand bags and
they're inventing some new way to describe gold coating.
There's a lot of hype in the audio business. Yeah.
Done in a vacuum with virgins.
And unicorn tears. You always have to have the unicorn tears. It's so great to meet you, Adam, and thank you for your great success. Thank you for being here today. We really appreciate it. Also, thank you for speaking out at the EFF Forum for freedom on the internet and in music too, Roger. I mean, that's one common thread here today is freedom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. Yep. Power to the people. Do you like rock and roll?
Open.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure. I thought it was either you or Kiki that was going to be in the latex, but I think it's Kiki Stockhammer. So I want to bring Warp 11 out here. Warp 11 is a rock and roll band. They're known as America's favorite sci-fi band. But Kiki, come on out, guys. Kiki Stockhammer is the lead. There they are, Warp 11. You can stay there because they're going to stand here.
Oh, okay.
If the guitar's in the way, we can put it behind.
I think she's wearing the latex, and all the camera guys. So,
and if you decide you don't want him anymore, you know where you can.
Kiki, you are famous as a demo goddess. I can remember so many times sitting and watching you with the Amiga and the video toaster, and doing there was a Kiki wipe.
There was, at the time it freaked a lot of people out. It was
Karl, her husband, is getting in the shot here.
It was love and hate at the same time, but I tell you, all it took was going to a big giant Sony party and all the head echelon of the Japanese, Kiki wipe.
Kiki wipe. Well, the switcher we use for TWiT is a TriCaster, which is basically the grandson of that Amiga video toaster that we used for so many years.
Yeah, TriCaster is basically the smallest live portable production device that
it's really
rocks
cool.
It.
It's really cool, yeah. And you still rock it. Do you want to
well,
tell us anything
about
Warp 11 before we begin?
We play songs about Star Trek.
Really?
Yeah, so all you Star Wars fans, you can get out. There's no songs about Jar Jar, just
Jar
in case
Jar
you're
did
wondering.
ruin it for Wesley kind of ruined it, but Jar Jar really ruined a lot of things.
Warp 11, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a song about drinking and Star Trek, and it's called... Yeah, did I mention that part? It's mostly about drinking and sex and Star Trek. This is called Red Alert.
1, 2, 3.
And we drank the last one, yeah. That'll light you from here.
It always rocks harder than you think.
Oh, Captain's log, just scored some mayo. It's new and it's blue, baby, and we got it on sale. Now we can boldly go where we want in the final frontier. Not to search for life, but to search for fear. Don't wanna sing now or play guitar. Wanna get drunk in a city bar. In a fight that kill a red shirt and bring this sucker to red alert. Red alert. Red alert. Red alert. Red alert.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do this. You guys help me out here.
I hear San Francisco is the kind of town that likes to rock.
I knew that wasn't really going to work as well.
Well, apparently at Macworld this year it's the new rock, so somehow it's appropriate.
That's right. This next one is about Satan and Star Trek. This is the title track of our the CDs. They always tell me, 5th CD, I don't want to go to heaven as long as they have Vulcans in hell.
Yeah, Fecklar!
One, two, three. I don't want to live like you and be just another clown. I don't want to be popular, I'd rather be alone. I don't want your addiction, I got one of my own. I've been bestowed every episode of Star Trek ever shown. I don't want to be a leader, last longer in bed. I don't want a therapist to fix my cracked up head. I don't want to hear the lies and bull crap that you spread. I just want to go and get it on with a girl from Beta Z. We're only go where no one's gone before. And I don't want your shiny car. I don't want your new guitar. I don't want your medicine when I'm not feeling well. I don't want your paradise. I found my God in Star Trek 5. I don't want to go to heaven long as they have all gods in hell. I don't want entertainment news or reality TV. I don't give a flying frack about Paris and Britney. I don't want your crappy job. Poverty's fine for me. Just leaves me more quality time in front of my TV. Supposing go where no one's gone before. And I don't want your shiny car. I don't want your new guitar. I don't want your medicine when I'm not feeling well. I don't want your paradise. I found my God in Star Trek 5. I don't want to go to heaven long as they have all gods in hell. Your champagne and your cocaine and your hot stocks and your Botox and your flat screen and your cuisine and your implants and your tight pants and your new car, your cigar and your hot tub and your lock club and your limo and your Bordeaux won't make you happier than me. Yeah, yeah. I don't want your shiny car. I don't want your new guitar.
normally we're a little more rated R than you're getting. Apparently, Macworld is a PG show, not a PC show, not a PG show. So we're kind of throwing frack in there a little more than normal. But we're gonna pass the mic on over to the lovely and talented Kiki Stockhammer.
This is Baby Take Me to Your Nuclear Vessel. 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 I want to sneak around. I want to touch your mouth. I want to alter your chemistry and advancing your technology. Hello, computer. Hello, computer. Hello, computer. Hello, computer. Baby, can I ride your nuclear vessel? Baby, can I ride your nuclear vessel? Baby, can I ride your nuclear vessel? Lie on the floor, or I will have to stun you. I want to mix up your molecules. I want to break all the rules. A keyboard, how quaint. A keyboard, how quaint. A keyboard, how quaint. A keyboard, how quaint. I think he did a little too much LDS. Can I come inside your nuclear vessel? Can I come inside your nuclear vessel? Can I come inside your nuclear vessel? I want to feel your jerk off inside my power. I want to feel your get it on with all of your tachyons. Go ahead, stun me. 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 Go ahead. You didn't know that Chekhov was so sexy, did you?
All right, we got one more for you guys, and then we're going to go get drunk. It's weird playing this sober. Seriously, is it weird watching a band when you're this sober? It is, I know.
Anybody got vodka or whiskey? I didn't think
This next song is about drinking.
And Star Trek.
More. That's why we got the hats. Like our high-tech light show, by the way. Spare no expense in this band. Oh, by the way, and if all of you would just download about 30 of our songs on iTunes, we don't have to play for the rest of the year. So just right now would be great. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Still a country one. Well, I'm a sitting on the Enterprise, snacking on bourbon and replicated fries, staring at the stars. I take another sip, feels like my brain has abandoned ship. Spoke to a Vulcan just the other day, said he had transferred from the Botany Bay, said he liked it here, 'cause we had plenty of beer. He was getting drunk with some sort of bug in his ear. Red alert, my glass is gone dry. You better feed me up another shot of no killer. And while you're at it, please send me a yeoman or two. We're gonna play a little game of Kobayashi Maru. Oh. I can't believe it's been about 5 years. That's a lot of time and a lot of beer. Fully drank my way through outer space, bulge in my pants and a smile on my face. Red alert, my glass is gone dry. You better feed me up another shot of no killer. And while you're at it, please send me a yeoman or two. We're gonna play a little game of Kobayashi Maru.
day I die. Told me to quit my drink and be a part of the crew. So I beamed him into space and grabbed another brew. Oh.
You guys can form the mosh pit right now, too, because we're almost done. Don't hurt anybody.
And now I'm warping here in my own ship with a crew that's too drunk to give me lip. Ain't seen my Vulcan since yesterday. Bet he's still puking down in the cargo bay. Red alert, my glass is gone dry. You better beat me up another shot and no killer. And while you're at it, please send me a yeoman or two. We're gonna play a little game of Kobayashi Maru. Oh, red alert, pour me another shot. I wrote it into the script. I made it part of the plot. In fact, just go ahead and make it a cup. If I gotta beam down, you better just beam me up. Ha ha ha.
Live long and prosper, you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Leo.
Rock out with your Spock out, everyone. Have a great Macworld.
Warp 11! Now, here's the deal. We're not allowed to congregate here. They have to clear the hall so that the next event can go in. So Warp 11 has CDs here. Roger sold all his CDs on the cruise ship, so he doesn't have any CDs. But I hope you will go over to, there's a music pavilion on the show floor there, the music center, and that's where we're all going to kind of go so that, and we can talk to you. I'll be glad to hang around and talk to everybody and do that, but we're not allowed to do it out here or out in front. We streamed this, and if you want to watch it on your way out on your iPhone, live.twit.tv and Safari now works. You can watch the live stream, watch all day and all night on your iPhone. I hope you will, please. Yeah, thanks to Colleen and the folks at Ustream who made that happen. They really did a great job. She's amazing.
Colleen!
You know, Colleen, you should come out here.
Come on out here, girl.
Colleen is our chief engineer. She's way back there, I know, but she's our chief engineer, and is she coming out? Come on!
Yes.
Come on. She's our Sulu, or is it Chekhov? I can never remember. But she built all the gear that makes Twit possible. She's the greatest. And you can thank her for the live stream. Yeah, she is. We're not worthy of Colleen. And we're having a meetup at the Marriott Marquis at 5:30 to 8:30. We'll all be there. I'll be there. All the Twit people will be there. I can't guarantee these guys, but we'll all be there. Fred, it's at the View Room at the top at Marriott Marquis. So please come, and we'd love to see you. Thank you all for being here. I hope you're enjoying Macworld. I hope you enjoyed our show today. And we just got to hang together, the Mac community, right? Because that's what it's all about. We'll see you next year. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed Macworld Live. What a fun time we had at Macworld Expo. Our thanks to Paul Kent, his great team, and all the folks at Macworld. Our sponsors, too, Audible.com and Citrix, the makers of GoToMeeting, for making that possible. Of course, Colleen, as you saw at the end, did a great job setting up the stream and making it work flawlessly as usual. To Dane Golden, the executive producer at Twit.tv, for his hard work and getting the guests and lining everybody up and getting them ready. It was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next year at Macworld. Bye-bye.